Hello, my dear children. Welcome back to our class. Hope you are doing well. Do you remember where we left off in the last class? Yes, you are correct. A night of sorrow. Before going to the next part of the story, let's recollect the previous class. Okay, listen. Here, Lencho was very happy when it started raining. But the happiness didn't last long. What was the reason? Do you remember? Yes, you are correct. Say it aloud. Okay, Lancha was very happy when it started raining, but suddenly a strong wind began to blow and very large hailstones also began to fall. Then his cornfield was totally destroyed, so his happiness didn't last long. The hailstorm lost all his hopes. Then, so he said to his wife, "This year we will have no corn. There is no one to help us. We will have to suffer everything." Now, everything destroyed. But he was not ready to give up his faith in God. He believed God will help him. He couldn't sleep on that day. All through the night, he thought only of his own hope, that is, God. Okay, dears, let's move on to the next part of the story. Are you ready? Okay, I will read the text. You listen carefully and read with me. At the post office, Lencho was an ox of a man, walking like an animal in the fields. Still, he knew how to write. The following Sunday, at daybreak, he began to write a letter. It was nothing less than a letter to God. "Dear God, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes. Because of the hailstorm you sent, everything is lost. Hopefully waiting, Lancho." Okay, dears, have you got any idea from the passage? Oh, it's okay, you don't worry, I will give the detailed explanation. Lenjo was an ox of a man. That is, every day Lenjo worked as like an ox in the field. He is strong and hard-working man, even though he know how to read and write. So next Sunday at daybreak, he started to write a letter. Daybreak means early in the morning. That is the time just before the sunrise. Have you ever written a letter? I think nowadays it is no need to write a letter because we have loads of modern gadgets to communicate with others. But it is not possible to send a letter to God. Here, Lenjo has great faith in God. He thinks that definitely the God will help him. So he wrote a letter. Let's see, how did Lenjo write the letter? "Dear God, if you don't help me, my family and me will go hungry this year. I lost everything by the hailstorm you sent. So I need 100 pesos to sow in my field and again to live until the crops come. Hopefully, Lencho." What do you mean by peso? Peso means the unit of money in many Latin American countries and the Philippines. Peso means the unit of money used in Latin American countries and the Philippines. Okay. After writing, what did Lencho do? Yes, let's see. He wrote to God on the envelope and went to the town. From the post office, he bought a stamp and pasted it on. the envelope and dropped it into the post box. Okay, dears, do you remember what are the process Lenjo had to taken to send a letter? Yes, first he wrote the letter on a paper and then he put it in an envelope and he went to the town. At the post office, he bought a stamp and he pasted it on the letter and dropped it into the mailbox. Okay, then here is a question. How does the author describe Lancho? How does the author describe Lancho? Lancho was an ox of a man working like an animal in the fields and he knew how to write. Okay, then second question, which expression in the passage tells you that Lancho wrote the letter early in the morning? Look at the text. The following Sunday at daybreak. At daybreak, he began to write a letter. Okay, then why did Lenjo write the letter to none other than God? Who can say the answer? Yes, very good. Because Lenjo had great faith in God. He believed that if he sent a letter to him, definitely the God will help him. Okay, dears, now let's move on to the next part of the story. I will read. You must listen carefully and read with me. The postman went to his boss laughing heartily. He showed him the letter to God. The postmaster also broke into a laugh. But immediately he turned serious. What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter. Imagine starting up a correspondence with God. The postman went to his boss. Here, who is boss? Yes, the postmaster. The postman went to his boss with the letter, laughing heartily. Heartily means with strong feelings. The postman went to his boss with the strong feelings and showed it to his boss. Then he also broke into a laugh. But soon he became serious and he exclaimed, What a faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote the letter. I can't imagine starting up a correspondence with the God. Correspondence means communicate by letters. To communicate by letters. Here it shows the intense faith of Lancho to God. Here is a question. Immediately after reading the letter, the postmaster turned serious. Why? Because he realized Lenjo's faith in God. Am I correct? Yes. Very good. Okay. Now let's move on to the next part. The postmaster came up with an idea, sent a reply to Lencho from God. But he needed something more than goodwill, ink, and paper to answer the letter. He took a collection from the employees of the post office. He himself gave a part of his salary. But it was impossible for him to put together 100 pesos. He was able to send the farmer only 70 pesos. He put the money in an envelope addressed to Lancho. He sent a letter along with it. It contained only a signature of God. Okay, dear children, listen here. The postmaster came up with an idea. Means the postmaster got an idea to send a reply to Lancho from God. What was the postmaster's idea? The postmaster's idea was to send a reply to Lancho. But he realized he need something more than goodwill, pen, and paper. Goodwill means friendly or helpful feelings towards others. Postman thinks not only goodwill, paper, and ink, but also it need money to send a reply to Lancho. So he took a collection from the employees of the post office. Then he himself gave a part of his salary. But it was impossible for him to put together 100 pesos. Impossible means too difficult to deal with or not possible. Look at this picture. It is impossible to the boy to climb up the tree. That means it is too difficult to climb up the tree because the tree is very big. She could send only 70 pesos because he couldn't collect 100 pesos. So he sent 70 pesos to Lancho. He put the money in an envelope and then he wrote the address on the envelope to Lancho, and along with it he sent a letter. Within that cover only the signature of God. He didn't write anything on it, only the signature. Okay, dears, hope you understood the passage very well. Now it's the time for wind up our class. Study well your notes and read the text very carefully. Okay, let's meet on next class. Thank you.